After generating hundreds of millions of views on YouTube, we learned one hard truth. Thumbnails matter more than almost anything. Because if nobody clicks, nobody watches. So today, I'm gonna share our 10-step system to create viral thumbnails that are so good, they basically force viewers to click on them. Let's get into it. Step 1, make your thumbnail before you script, edit, or film absolutely anything. When I first started YouTube, I'd always treat my thumbnails kind of like an afterthought. You know, I do my script, I film the video, I edit it, and then, oh, I have to publish, time to make a thumbnail. This is so bad and so unnecessary. If you make your thumbnails like this, you're basically locked into whatever you've already filmed and edited. And if you come up with a really good thumbnail idea that maybe doesn't fit your script, you're kind of screwed, or you have to go refilm, and that's so inconvenient. Instead, you should come up with absolutely banger thumbnail concepts first and create them before you script your video, because then if you need to adjust your script, you can. You don't have to go refilm, re-edit, etc. Because again, if nobody clicks, nobody watches. So you need to come up with your thumbnail first to ensure that you're able to have the best video possible. Moving on, step 2, stop trying to make your thumbnails look pretty, because pretty doesn't get clicks, understandability does. A lot of creators think they need to make these like super intricate, detailed art projects for their thumbnails, when in reality, that again is not what gets clicks. The little details don't matter really at all. YouTube thumbnails are previewed at very small sizes, oftentimes even on a phone. What this means is that those little details that you're trying to add are just simply not going to be noticed or even seen. Second, your YouTube thumbnails aren't viewed in isolation. They're viewed next to hundreds of other videos on the YouTube homepage. What this means is that viewers are not looking at your thumbnail for even 6, 7, 8 seconds. They're looking at your thumbnails for like a millisecond. So to make a thumbnail that gets clicks and blows up your video, you need to prioritize understandability over aesthetics. Step 3, when you're making your thumbnails, don't start from scratch, start with what's already worked. Every creator with over 100,000 subscribers that I've ever met does this thing called outlier validation. An outlier is a video that's overperformed on a channel. For example, if a channel averages 10,000 views per video and they make a video that gets 100,000 views, that video is a 10x outlier. And it signals to us that there's something special about that video that we can copy. Oftentimes it's the thumbnail. So with any thumbnail that you're going to create, instead of just guessing and trying to make a concept that might go viral, you need to do outlier research to give yourself the highest chance of success. To do this, go to oneof10.com, go to filters, go to the last 6 months, at least a 2x outlier, and then search up your video concept. So if I'm making a video called how to make $1 million in 2026, I'll look up make $1 million or how to make $1 million. And what this will do is give me a ton of other viral videos similar to mine that have gone viral in the last 6 months. Because these videos are outliers and went viral recently, chances are I can take whatever they did for their thumbnails that worked and do it myself. So scroll through and screenshot 6 or 7 thumbnails that you think you could make for your channel and put them into a document for later. That's outlier research. Step 4, you're gonna actually create your thumbnails. You can use free tools like Canva or Photopea, or you can pay for a tool like Photoshop, which I personally recommend, or what's even new this year is AI thumbnail generators. Now, most of these aren't good, but the one I've been using for basically every single thumbnail that I've created this year is the 1of10 thumbnail generator. You're gonna take all those outlier concepts that you screenshotted earlier and kind of get it down to like your top 3. You can decide on the best 3 concepts by just simply thinking about your audience. If you already have videos posted, go to your YouTube analytics and go to the audience tab and look at the ages, genders, and countries of your audience. And if you don't have videos posted, just think about who would watch your videos. Are they male? Are they female? Are they young? Are they old? Are they from English-speaking countries? Are they from non-English-speaking countries? All of these things will influence what thumbnail concepts will perform best on your channel. Let's say I have a large percentage of my audience that is not native English speakers. I'll probably limit the number of words and text in my thumbnails to make it still easily understandable by a non-native audience. Or if I have a younger audience and I'm making this video about how to make $1 million in 2026, I'll show them things that really resonate with them. For example, maybe the fact that I'm young, or that I have supercars or a nice house, right? These things are very attractive to my target audience. And just think about, what does my target audience want? Do they really want like an aesthetic mirror selfie, or do they want me posted up in a really nice car for this particular video concept? Just think about it. And then once you have your top 3, you're gonna make them in your editing software of choice. Step 5, remove things from your thumbnail until there's nothing left to remove. There's this rule that a lot of top creators swear by called the 3-element rule. What this means is that viral thumbnails will have 3 main elements and almost nothing else. Look at any of these examples, right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Maybe like 1, 2, 3, 4, but for the most part, it's all 3 elements. Step 6, Thumbnails that have a lot going on make it really hard for viewers to quickly understand them. And if a viewer doesn't quickly understand a thumbnail, then they're not going to click on it. So whatever's in your thumbnail, just think, how can I make this simpler? And it's going to become a better thumbnail. Step 7, make sure your title and thumbnail tell the exact same story. Although outlier research is really effective to come up with viral thumbnail concepts, it only works if it also works with your title, which is why it's so important to make your thumbnail first, because then you can change your title and change your hook and change your script and etc. Your thumbnails should always advance whatever your title is saying, not necessarily just repeat it or even do something unrelated. On YouTube, your titles and thumbnails are not two different things. They're really just the same thing working together. Step 8, use colors and contrast to stand out without sacrificing realism. On YouTube, contrast grabs attention and realism gains trust. You need both. First off, 80% of YouTube users use dark mode, so high contrast and bright colors allows you to stand out on a dark feed. However, you don't want to do too much of this where your thumbnail starts to look unrealistic, right? For an older audience, they probably value much more realism, authenticity, and realistic photos and colors versus a younger audience. You can probably get away with bright backgrounds and flashy colors. So really just think about, again, who am I making my thumbnails for? And to the best of your abilities, make sure that your thumbnail pops and stands out with your colors and contrast. Step 9, use thumbnail text only when it adds new information to your video. On YouTube, text can either save or sabotage your thumbnail. We did a study here at 1 of 10 of over 300,000 viral videos from 2025, and we found overall that having text in a thumbnail leads to less views. Now, there's obviously cases where text helps and some cases where text doesn't help, but overall, not having text in your thumbnail basically forces you to show and not tell, which allows you to create usually either more curiosity or just a more emotional response from a viewer to get them to click. If you're going to use text in a thumbnail, you should not just be repeating the title, because then you're just wasting space in your thumbnail. Instead, you should use it to add additional context that viewers don't already know. Here's some good examples. See how this is the title, this is the text they're using. It's adding context, right? Same here and same here. Finally, step 10, switch your titles and thumbnails, but not too much. Once you've posted a YouTube video, it is so important that you are testing multiple thumbnails and changing them as you go along. This is why for a single video, we ended up with 3 different thumbnail concepts, because it allows us to run a 3-way A/B test using YouTube's A/B testing features. The reason this is so important is because you don't know which thumbnail is going to perform better. There have been times where I thought one thumbnail was better than 2 others, but one of the other 2 actually won the test at the end of the day. Additionally, once a video dies out, you can just simply switch the thumbnail and maybe it gets extra views. I've had this happen so many times where a video has been dead, I've switched the thumbnail, and in this case, it got over 200,000 views from being basically dead. It's actually insane how high leverage it is to just change your titles and thumbnails after a few days. Now, how do you know when to change a title or thumbnail? Don't look at your CTR. Most people think a high CTR means a good thumbnail and a low CTR means a bad thumbnail, but this is simply not the case. CTR is always going to start out really high because your video is being recommended to your subscribers and people that have watched you before. As a video gets more views, CTR will look dramatically worse and drop. But it doesn't mean that the thumbnail is bad, it just means the video has been pushed out to more people. You could have a video with 100 views and like a 10% CTR. It doesn't mean the thumbnail is good because the video only has 100 views. So don't look at your CTR, look at your impressions. If a video's impression graph has gone like this and flatlined, the video is probably dead. You should probably change the title and thumbnail. All top creators do this, by the way. And that's how to create viral thumbnails in 10 steps. Hopefully you learned something. Let me know if you have any questions and check out this video next.